I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Thursday, November 14th. A suspected arson fire at a Quincy storage facility last night is under investigation. A fire alarm summoned firefighters to the Go Store It facility on Center Street just before 11 o'clock last night. A fire was discovered in a storage unit and was quickly extinguished. Investigators say there is evidence that the fire may have been arson, and Quincy detectives are now investigating. No one was hurt. It is unclear right now what was in that storage unit. Firefighters battled a heavy blaze and high winds in Plymouth last night. Companies responded to a residence on Alden Court at about 7:30 on a report of a fire in a two-story garage. Video shows flames fully engulfing the structure with embers shooting into the air. Officials say the windy, cold conditions added more fuel to the fire that threatened a cluster of homes in the area. There were no reports of any injuries, but the fire extended to a neighboring outbuilding on the property, eventually starting a brush fire about 500 feet away. Those fires were contained with minimal damage. The bulk of the fire was knocked down within an hour. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Firefighters from Bourne, Carver, Duxbury, and Kingston all assisted. A small business in Scituate is recovering after a dump truck crashed right through its front entrance yesterday. The Collective Company, a co-working space on Gannett Road, is a women-centered workplace oasis created to help build networks and uplift women. Owner Rachel Meyer said she was just pulling up to the business in her car when the crash happened about 9:30 yesterday morning. The dump truck's brakes failed. It was coming down a hill and attempting to stop at a red light at the intersection of Gannett Road and Country Way. The driver then lost control, hitting an SUV in the intersection before the dump truck sped between two poles and crashed through the entrance of the business. The crash left glass and debris scattered around the front of the business. The impact was so severe, the bricks at the entrance of the business were pushed inside. However, nobody in the business or in the dump truck was hurt. Newly bought products were damaged or destroyed, and new furniture was mangled as a result of the crash. Cushions inside were also bounced away from seating areas, and an inside wall now appears to be peeling away. However, Meyer said she plans on reopening the business as soon as she can, citing the strong community that she's created by opening the business to support it. The Quincy City Council has approved a total of $41.5 million worth of infrastructure and roadway improvements across the city. The administration was seeking $24 million from the Sewer Enterprise Fund, $5.5 million from the Water Enterprise Fund, and $12 million from the General Fund to conduct the work. All three appropriations were approved unanimously this week after a lengthy presentation from DPW Commissioner Al Grazioso. Also this week, the City Council heard the final cost estimate for the new Squantum School. The project itself would cost almost $109 million, plus an additional $4.5 million for electrical and communications work around the school. The city would be reimbursed $39 million from the state, about 35%. The City Council Finance Committee will now review that request. A state ethics commission yesterday said that it found that a Norfolk County Sheriff's Office assistant deputy superintendent violated conflict of interest law by using department employees to perform free plumbing work at his private home. Thomas Brady, Assistant Deputy Superintendent of Jail Operations at the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, allegedly approached plumbers working for the Sheriff's Office on 4 occasions in 2021 and 2022 and asked them to perform work at his home. According to the State Ethics Commission's Enforcement Division, the plumbers performed the work replacing a shower head, replacing his water heater, repairing his boiler, and replacing the boiler's circulator pump, largely during their work hours for the Sheriff's Office, and were not compensated. The Sheriff's Office was also not reimbursed for the time the plumbers were doing the private work for Brady. In one instance, Brady allegedly gave each of the plumbers a bottle of wine instead of paying them. Given his superior rank and position in the sheriff's office, the commission said that each request was inherently coercive. A public hearing on the allegations against Brady will be held within 90 days. According to the Ethics Commission, the body is allowed to impose a penalty of up to $10,000 for each violation of state ethics laws. Well, a week after Massachusetts voters overwhelmingly embraced Auditor Diana DiZoglio's ability to audit the legislature, Beacon Hill's top Democrat said yesterday that they're mulling over unspecified potential alterations to the voter law. House Speaker Rahm Mariano of Quincy and Senate President Karen Spilka, who have long resisted DiZoglio's mission to shed transparency on Beacon Hill lawmaking and joint committees, did not rule out the possibility of repealing or amending Question 1. Mariano did not offer details about changes or the meeting that he referenced. A Mariano spokesperson said it was an internal meeting. Nearly 72% of voters cast their ballot in support of Question 1, with only 28% of voters rejecting the push to give DiZoglio the explicit authority to audit the legislature. The question has not yet taken effect. In November of last year, House and Senate Democrats said a decision from Attorney General Andrea Campbell reinforces their opinion that the state auditor lacks the statutory or constitutional authority to audit any other separate branch of government, such as the legislature. DiZoglio has sent a letter to Mariano and Spilka to revive her probe of the legislature, writing that review will cover all of the topics that she was unable to fully review in her previous audit due to, quote, your refusal to participate in the audit process. The auditor said all requested records and information should be provided within 72 hours of the date of the request. Spilka said yesterday she intends to respond to the letter, but the Ashland Democrat did not say whether she will honor DiZoglio's 72-hour request for the information. State health officials are monitoring increasing cases of whooping cough and pneumonia. Children and adolescents are primarily affected by those bacterial respiratory illnesses, according to Public Health Commissioner Robbie Goldstein. He's urging clinicians and families to be on the lookout for potential symptoms. Pertussis, also known as whooping cough, is a highly contagious acute respiratory illness that starts with mild symptoms. Infected individuals later develop a severe cough that can be followed by vomiting. 22,000 cases of whooping cough have been reported in the U.S. as of the week ending November 2nd. That's the highest number of cases year to date since 2014. The Department of Public Health also watching the spread of bacteria that can cause walking pneumonia and trigger community outbreaks. Goldstein said symptoms include persistent cough, fever, and fatigue, though they can be mild and don't always require hospitalization. As for other respiratory illnesses, Goldstein said COVID-19, the flu, and RSV are at low levels, but warned that cases will rise this winter. Department of Public Health offers at-home COVID and flu vaccinations for individuals who have difficulty getting the shots at healthcare or community settings. The department also provides free telehealth services for Bay Staters who need a Paxlovid prescription after contracting COVID. The Dana-Farber Cancer Institute's mammography van will be at the Kennedy Center in Quincy today. The Quincy Health Department is sponsoring the van today from 8 a.m. to 4:15 p.m., offering mammograms. Pre-registration is required. You can call 617-632-1974 or send an email to mammo_van@dfci.harvard.edu. A check of business news this morning. Stocks are mixed. The Dow was up 47. The Nasdaq fell 50. The S&P added 1. Shares also retreated in Asia. The dollar rose. The euro is down, and oil at $68 a barrel. Sports: Celtics beat the Nets 139-114. They will be back home against Toronto Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Tonight, the Bruins are in Dallas against the Stars at 8. Today's forecast from the National Weather Service: sunny and breezy at a high 47. Clear and cold again tonight, low 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little milder, high of 55. Saturday, sunny at a high 59. And Sunday, mostly sunny, high 61. The marine forecast calling for 2 to 3 foot waves, winds north 10 to 15, gusting to 20 knots at times, high tide 9:20 a.m. Sunrise 6:33, sets 4:22. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Thursday, November 14th.